straight into it. The reason why I'm kicking off the year with this video is because it is the anniversary of me not getting my 250,000 rand that I lent out to somebody, and I've not seen a single cent ever since. Are you judging me yet? Because I'm judging me. And I'm sorry, no, I do not have money to give anybody, to lend out to anybody. Let's get that clear and get that straight up, right? So if you are going to be thinking of lending out money to your loved ones, your family members, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, their sister, their cousin, brother, their whoever who really needs it, and those social media people who really have heartbreaking stories, and my heart really bleeds out to them, and I really wish I could help. But you know what, 4 years ago somebody hurt me so much and hurt my bank balance so much that I'm not even going there.
Well, having posted so many personal finance videos on social media, Nicolette Mashile is known as the financial fitness bunny, even though she always is cautious and stresses that she's not an accredited financial advisor. Her topics are based on personal experience, as you saw there, and they range from black tax to how to deal with bad financial decisions. And coming from a public relations background, though, Nicolette has a diploma in business administration and is currently studying towards a master's degree in business administration, or an MBA. And at 30 years of age, Nicolette has 3 properties that are fully paid up and one that she's still paying a bond on. So looking at these milestones, Nicolette Mashile is an entrepreneur, and we figure she might have a thing or two to share with the rest of us this morning. So welcome, Nicolette.
Thank you so much. There was something else opening the show with that video, because it's just like, oh my goodness, that's me.
Listen, you had 250,000 rand lying somewhere just to give to someone who was in need. And now you're talking about how you never got it back. Didn't you ever hear that the fastest way to kill a friendship is to actually, borrow money?
Yeah. Look, you know, the thing is, when somebody comes to you and they're looking for money, they've got a fully fledged out story. They know which buttons to press. Then they'll say something like, I don't even feel comfortable borrowing money from you. I'm like, yeah, but you're borrowing it anyway. So you end up giving because you really trust that this person is going to give it back to you, right? So out of the window goes the contract that you should be signing with this person, the payment arrangement. When are you going to pay me back? You don't even think about those things, because really it's those little buttons, those trust buttons that they've pressed on, and makes you think, okay, no, this person's going to be able to pay me back. And then it doesn't come. And then you ask, and then it doesn't come. And then you get to a point where you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to make peace with the fact that I'm never getting my money back.
But it's sad. The most sage advice that I ever got was, don't ever give out money that you need back.
Yes.
If you give it, you must give it from a perspective where you'd be okay if it never comes back.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, what they don't understand is that you've got to be clear from the beginning when you are giving money to somebody, and they need to understand that it's a loan and not a gift. Because it's easy for people to just think, oh no, but Nicolette has, they make this assumption. Nicolette has so much money. Nicolette doesn't need this money. No, there's no one in the world who doesn't need their money back, guys.
Well,
we need our money.
She has 3 properties fully paid up at the age of 30, so Nicolette has money like dust. So let's talk about some of those milestones.
Yeah.
Those 3 paid up properties at the age of 30. Yeah. Something that many people can only dream of. And it speaks to some prudent financial decisions. Talk to us about how that came about.
Look, I'm an avid reader of personal finance books, and one of the books that I read was The Millionaire Next Door, right? And basically the idea around The Millionaire Next Door is that if you do certain things in a certain way, you will probably end up having a lot of money, right? Because money is not about how much you make. It's more about how much are you actually keeping of that money. And now we've kind of taken it a step forward, and we said it's not just how much you keep, it's more of where do you actually keep this money. And I think, yes, granted, I was in a very privileged space a couple of years ago. I was working, I was running a business, and granted, I was making a little bit more money than probably the average person at that age, right? But I think for me, the difference that, the decisions that I made a really big difference, and that was, what am I actually going to be doing with this money that I've got? Because I could have done anything. Could have traveled, I could have blown it, I could have been driving the latest car. But the decision that I then made was, if I foresee and have foresight in terms of my future and my financial future, what can I point out to myself and say, Yazi, when I had money, this is what I bought. This is what I bought, you know. And I think for me, that was really important. Really, guys, I went to Rhodes University. And when I arrived at Rhodes University, the average student at Rhodes had a car. They had fully paid up apartments. And for me, that came from the generational wealth that their parents created for them. So I'd like to create generational wealth. For me, it's something that it should be a gift that we pass on. It's one way of starting to kill black tax. So it's really important that we start investing in things that actually make sense. They always say, look how much time you're spending on certain things and where your money is going, and understand that that's what you're actually investing in. So yeah, that's how I ended up. And you know, you always go for the low-hanging fruit. We get told that property is absolutely amazing asset, so that's why I ended up in property. If you know now, if I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have tied up my money in property. But it is what it is, and I'm okay with it.
What would you have done differently? Where would you have put your money?
I think I would have, Warren Buffett always says, put your money in something that you know will still be here in 20 years. Now, I truly believe, and you guys just had people that here speaking about agriculture, food. We are going to need food. You know, we'll always need food. So I would have put my money in something far more innovative in the agricultural space. I would have definitely done some offshore investments. I think, you always need to kind of spread yourself, not too thin, but spread yourself evenly so that if something crashes on one side, you're able to balance it out with something else. But I think now that I kind of know the funny thing about personal finance, I always say, is that it's an everyday learning experience, and it's an everyday fighting against your cognitive biases that you already know. So you'll say to people, you need to save. And the first thing they say to you is, what am I saving for? What if I die tomorrow?
Yeah. Or I have nothing to save.
Oh, I have nothing to... That is the biggest lie, guys. We all have something to save, right? And we all have something to save for, because most of us are one paycheck away from poverty. Most of us. Because we're living hand to mouth, right? And then somebody will say, yeah, but I don't have money to save. Then I say to them, okay, do this exercise. Print out your bank statement. Sit with 3 different color highlighters, right? The first highlighter, highlight all the contractual debits that you have agreed to, by the way, because you agreed to somebody taking money out of your bank account. Then with the other one, highlight the things that you know you probably could live without, but you like them, you like having them, they make your life comfortable. And with the last one, highlight all the things that you know that you don't even remember how you spent that money. So it is the bottle of, whatever, where you don't even remember how that money was spent because you don't actually know where it went to. And when you start doing that, you start realizing that your additional income stream is actually in your bank statement. Because a lot of people think they need to go out there and find an additional income stream. They need to find a new job. But if you just practice effective personal finance management, you'll start finding that the money that you say you do not have to save is sitting right there in your bank.
So a shift in your mindset, and that's not easy. It never is.
Yes. No, it's almost, I always liken personal finances to road safety. And I feel like a lot of it it goes down to your behavior. So I have this thing, and as much as I speak about budget, you gotta track your spending, gotta know what you're doing with your money, I still, every single time I see an ATM, the first thing I want to do is withdraw money. And it's a learned behavior from my dad, because when I grew up, my dad at all times had 1,000 rand in his pocket, in his wallet, somewhere in the car. So now I do the same thing. But now, that 1,000 rand that I withdraw, or the ever much money I withdraw, I will never be able to track it, because I'll never be able to know what happened to it, where it went. So I always say I've got a withdrawals remorse, because after I do it, then I'm like, oh, I didn't need to do that. So it is a behavior. It is our cognitive biases that we've got. The fact that you know you're supposed to be doing certain things a certain way, but again, Sakina, it is quite a lot of learned and inherited behavior that we've got.
We've got 30 seconds. You say dating is very expensive.
You guys, dating is expensive. I think it's the choices that we make when we're dating, right? You're trying to impress a person, you're trying to put on this persona of being a certain way. Instead of actually showing the other person that you've got great financial acumen, you're more trying to show them that you can take care of them. But at the same time, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, yo, this person's got more than one credit card. Why? Do I really want to be with this person? So yeah, I think there are ways in which you can obviously go around it. My boyfriend and I have created what we call the Mjolo account. And basically what we do is we contribute to the account every single month, and that is the only money we use on our dating escapades.
How much do you contribute towards the Mjolo account?
We contribute 2,000 Rand each, but it sounds like a lot of money and it's not.
Okay. Okay. 2,000 Rand each with her boyfriend towards the Mjolo account. So if you're going to date, you better budget for that dating. Don't just go out there on a limb. Well, that's all we have time for with Nicolette Mashile sharing her personal experiences with us when it comes to personal finance. And of course, you can follow her on social media. We'll also tag some of those. But for now, it's 8 o'clock. Leanne standing by with the news.